Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Thursday, April 30th, last official day of April here. Let's make it a good day. Cash Profit Thursday. Keyword for today is AVT, which AVT strategy has been absolutely killing this uptrend that we've been in. Just mapped out a few here with my signal members. So we had, we had a nice little move right here. 1, 2, 3. Take a long at the value area low. That's a winner. Next setup here. Oops, just removed it. Sorry. The next one was right here. So we had a next setup right here. Again, value area low. Great risk to reward here. Nice trade. This next setup right here, you don't get entered into a trade. And then finally, the last one here, value area low. If you're targeting right back to point of control, positive risk to reward, that one gets a nice little winner there as well. So taking a look at the NQ here this morning, that's a pretty strong drop right there. We've got a signal at the 27,564, targeting the 556 and the 550, with a stop sitting at the 571. We got a few key levels here to keep in mind. The one we just tapped into, the 27,414. We've got the 27,325. And we've also got a key level here at the 27,197. We've got some buyer unbalanced volume sitting here at the 27,227 to the 27,182. Below that, one more key level here at the 27,094. On the ES, we tapped into this seller unbalanced volume area. Gave this this morning already on my Discord. And we did have a tap right here. We did try to get in right here. Couldn't get through, and we just rejected it. ES has got a key level here at the 7190, 7172, and the 7168 as well. And some buyer unbalanced volume sitting here at the 7159 to the 7133, with a key level down here at the 7131. Possible sweep and go scenario right here, as again we've got some buyer unbalanced volume sitting right here. In gold's been crushing it. So we've been talking about this band for quite some time. We're finally getting pretty close back up to it, 4690 to the 4679. But below it, we've got a few new bands to keep in mind. We've got a band at the 4617 to the 4607, 4790 to the 4583, and a large buyer unbalanced volume area sitting right here at the 4573 to the 4551. So that is the NQ, the ES, and gold. So let's go back to our leg here, which we had a leg, first leg of the morning. No entry there whatsoever. We already broke structure here, so we'll continue to monitor here and see what next AVT setup that we can possibly grab. So on the momentum down, this is great. This is decent. This one right here is not the greatest. As you can see, this retraced back to about the 75% of this one here. I'd like to have seen this, come down just a little bit more to give me more of an impulsive move. But there's no denying here that just off of the early morning session that market is trending a little bit back down to the downside here. Keyword for today is AVT. I will call out it's going to be at a random time today, so it's not a set time of 10:45 or 11 a.m. So when I feel like calling it out, and that's to hopefully reward some of the viewers that stay with me the entire stream. You'll have 2 minutes once the name is called. You'll get 2 minutes here, and let's see what not the greatest risk to reward here. This risk to reward, so I'm going to skip this AVT setup right here. As we can see, all of our key levels, we're sitting below our entry here. Really, the only short that I could see here is at the value area low, but we really have a huge negative risk to reward right here. Okay, that's almost like a 2-to-1, so that does not fit what I'm looking for. I mean, obviously this could still break to the structure to the downside. Even if I was to cut this in half, you know, I don't know how many times I'm going to do that. I don't know why that keeps doing that. Sorry. Even if I was to cut this in half, it would be somewhere right here. This is my unbalanced volume area. Even if I was to cut this in half right here, my risk to reward is still not that great. So remember, the setups have to make complete sense to you, and they will. It's just these first early morning ones can be a little bit on the tricky side. And as you can see, as I state that I don't take the trade, so it's usually the ones that I'm talking myself out of the trade, but those are the ones that end up working nicely. So that one kind of stunk. Well, we'll just continue to follow price action here and see what so ES here did show a setup. Let's see what this looks like here. All right, so possible entry here at the 71.80. We just made an equal low right here. So let's position this guy. Let's see what this would look like here. Value area low sitting right there. Stop would be somewhere right around the 71.83.50. So positive risk to reward here, 3.5, 5.25. Very close here to invalidating, as we had pretty much equal lows, but we didn't really break structure down here, so I'll consider this one. All right, so now we broke. Now I don't need to look at this ES. We'll look at the next setup that occurs here. And then we'll keep an eye on the NQ. So I got Tiger Trades and deep charts. You have TPO charts split in electronic and regular hours, and I could clearly see today the low volume regular time area. Asia dipped in and had a clear target to fill it for the EU session. I am amazed. Nice. And you combine those TPO charts if they are in consolidation, which is really convenient. Yeah, I've been hearing some really good things about deep charts. I actually know my Signal members got a different one. Addis. I always want to say Atlas, but it's Atlas. So again, keyword for today is AVT. Just pop that into the chart, and then at a random time here today, I will run the drawing. And we usually have a set time, but I figured let's reward some of the viewers that stay on the entire live stream every single morning. All right, let's see what this setup looks like here on the NQ. All right, kind of like this one here. Let's see if we can get a possible entry here. Actually, you know what? This risk to reward is much better right here. Let's see if we can get a little better of a retracement here. Or if we continue to dip. This looks like a really nice little risk to reward play here on the ES. So I'm going to pop this guy in right here. And we can just target the value area low, which gives us a pretty good risk to reward profile here on the ES. So if we, looks like I got a trigger there. So targeting 4.5 points here, risking 2.5. Was not triggered on the NQ just yet. And just so you guys can understand the strategy, it's pretty simple. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Okay, we did get knocked out there. Still looking at that NQ play. Let's take a look at the NQ. Let's see what... And again, that was a positive risk to reward scenario there on the ES, which was nice. Don't have any issues taking a 2-point loss there. So, well, let me just show this one. We've got 1, 2, 3. So remember that our system is 3 to 5 down bars, up or down. Doesn't matter which trend the market wants to go into. You wait for your retracement bar, fixed volume profile tool just on this leg to the downside. See where your entries are at. So you could take an entry at the value at the point of control, which is right down here. Again, not the best risk to reward. You could take a play here at the value area high, which is where I just took my play at. If we're wrong on this trade, it's going to break the structure to the upside here. And what we're looking for is a target back to, and I don't even need to go that crazy. We can go right here. 62 points, risking 27 points. Let me just take a look at that ES one once again here. Okay. Yeah, big flush. Trying to capitalize on it here on the ES. Wasn't able to capitalize on the ES trade there. And looks like I might get chopped out of this one here as well on the NQ. So huge earning reports yesterday from some pretty damn big companies. I mean, Amazon had an insane earnings report come out. So a lot of positivity, obviously, in the markets, especially with those earnings that came out yesterday. I think Apple earnings are tonight or this afternoon. All right, so about 40 points of profit here right now on the NQ. See if we can take full TP here at 62 points. Now you do have a target right here at the point of control, which would be a pretty safe one as well. And it's a positive risk to reward. So what I will do here is if we do get a little push down, I will move my stop and leave it right here at the point of control if we get a small push down here. And lock in these 40 points. Okay, right there. Let's take it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Break it. Don't do that. Oh, we had it there. I saw 55 on the marker, but dang, man. Dang it. I really thought we were going to get that flush right there. We came about a point from TP. I saw 50, 55, 57 points right there. Shoot. Shoot, Nuggets. Yeah, don't talk about errors. I mean, yesterday I put in my journal. I was not kind to myself yesterday. Obviously, I had a nice winning day, but I took that ES trade yesterday, and I totally botched my entries on there from the start. My first entry was a botch. The second position on there was a botch, and I mean, still went to profit there, but my risk to reward on that trade was really ugly. And that's one thing that I really like to control. I have seen my risk to reward numbers over the last 3 weeks have just skyrocketed. And great example here. I mean, we were risking this to make essentially this. Okay, it was even a little bit better where my original target was at. It was close to 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5. So I mean, you keep taking trades like that, and your numbers are going to they're going to start looking pretty damn good. All right, so we took a small loss on the ES, so 1 winner, 1 loser. ES, we took a trade right here. Again, reason for this trade was just a very good risk to reward play just off of the down. Let me explain this now that we've got some time here. Granted, this wasn't the best. Didn't really see this. I would like to have seen this break down like that instead of retrace all the way down up here. So that's one little knock against this, what I would still consider to be an A+ setup, but this kind of loosens it a little bit. But the premise is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that fits between our 3 to 5 down bar requirement. We finally get our uptrace one fixed volume profile tool only on this leg right here on the ES. And you are then afforded a very nice risk to reward here. You could take, honestly, you could take a short here at the 7170. You could take another position here, averaging out your position to be somewhere in the middle here. Gives it closer to a little bit better than 1-to-1. What I did is I took my entry here at the 7175, which was the point of control, kept my risk extremely tight, 2 points there on that trade. And unfortunately, the trend reversed there and knocked me out, but that's okay. That's what's going to happen. Still keep fighting the good fight with good risk to rewards, and you'll see good things. And everything needs to make sense. So that's the part of the strategy that I go over on almost every setup that I take, so that you guys can understand things that make sense and things that don't make sense. Now, you could have gotten in on this NQ short that we just took right at the point of control. Okay, this is going to be your highest probability play because, you know, to take TP is very, very close. But where's your stop going to go? Okay, so you can take the middle part of the high value area. Okay, this is your unbalanced area right here. Again, neither of these is going to give you a good risk to reward here. Okay, so again, they just make sure that everything makes sense to you. This entry is a lot nicer if you're not taking that first position here to average out here. This is a great entry, which is one we took, because we have a very controlled risk here. I think the risk was 25 points, 27 points, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was about 27 points right here. And what we targeted was, what was this? What did this come out to be? Let's call it 40 points. So again, good positive risk to reward. And we would have been able to knock both of these out on that trade right there. So we got another mini leg forming right here. Let's see what this affords us. Okay, this looks like a pretty basic trade. I think the risk to reward here is not going to be the best. It's not going to be close to 1-to-1. But let's just see what we get afforded here. All right, close to 1-to-1. And again, the only way I'll cancel this order out is if we break structure right down here. We break structure here, I'll cancel this and I'll look for the next leg to the downside. And we've had some pretty fast price action, that's for sure, but especially over the last few mornings. We've had some pretty good price action here already this morning. And again, we're just trying to catch these mini trends. We're not looking, I know the point value is higher. We're making 40, 60 points, but the NQ will give you those on just these little mini legs, you know? And if this now wants to rip to the upside, fantastic, let's go. Let's follow that mini trend that the market wants to establish. We already know, I've already taught you guys how this strategy, how the ABT strategy will not work in the market. It's very simple. For those that are new, I like to explain everything multiple times. So this is the market profile that really hurts. I got to do this one more time. This is the market profile that really hurts the strategy because, again, we get an uptrend here. We might want to, we get an uptrend here. We might want to take a long here at value area low. Stop goes at the bottom right here. Market comes down, taps us in. Still, it stops us out. Okay, so it stops us out just to see the move go in the direction that we were anticipating. Then we see a new leg to the downside. We might want to take a short at the value area high, stop sitting at the break of structure. You get stopped out. and then just to see the market move to the downside. Okay, so this is a market profile that is not good for our strategy, but in general, if you really analyze this this type of pattern or sequence, there's no strategy that is really good in that exact market environment. What we see 2 out of the 5 days, which we've been seeing for the last 14, 15 hours in the market, is going to be your trending days, okay? And the strategy works extremely well on these trending days. It catches these trends very well. Now, the other market, which is 3 out of 5 days, is going to be this type of action, okay? This is considered your range, your chop, whatever it is that you want to consider it. This strategy on the AVT will capture this really well. Really, really well. It does really, really well on this. Is it going to have a 100% win rate? No. You know, trends will get broken. Obviously, a trend needs to get broken for it to start. But if you follow some of the rules that I have, where we have like the little break of structure, I cancel out the order, those are the ones that save you dramatically. Because if it is a sweep and we continue to the downside, we're not in that trade anymore. Okay, so it's like an anti-sweep type of strategy as well, if you guys really think about it. So for like on this last trade, I'll give you this example here. So we had a setup. We had here 1, 2, 3. Okay, we had our up bar. We got our fixed volume profile. My entry to go short was sitting right here at the value area low, or high, I'm sorry. And what did I do? The second we broke structure down here, I canceled this order out. Why? Because what the market likes to do sometimes, it likes to sweep and then go. Let's not be a part of that. Let's not be a part of that scenario. Let's look to see what the next leg wants to do, and we're willing to take a trade from there. Now we are in a buyer unbalanced volume area right here. So in this scenario, am I going to be looking for a short here? No. Will I be looking for a long here in this area right here? Yes. Okay, but I'm not going to be looking to short back into this band. That goes against my theory on volume and how I see volume. And again, I give you guys these bands every single morning in Discord for the last several years. They're in there every single day. They're put in. It's free. Just go into Discord, map out your bands in the morning. Me and my Signal members, we do a live trading room from like 8 in the morning to about 11:30. And we go over all of the bands. We go over all of the key levels, what we're looking at for the day. We look at some of the setups from the previous day. Today I had a bunch of questions that I helped get answered. And you see the reaction here at this band. Okay, this is not, and it was a flip too. That's a nice trade right there. But you can see the power of these bands play out in real time all the time. So again, I'm not going to take a short going into this band when I know that this is buyer controlled support. I'm not going to do it. I'll look for a long out of here, absolutely, all day long, which again, if you were watching the stream yesterday, you saw me capitalize on a nice trade that way. Absolutely, Max. Go in and type it in. Okay, not the greatest price action right here. And I'm going to show you guys why. As you guys can see, this retraced down to about the 3/4 mark down here. What I like to see is I do like to see momentum, so I want to see momentum in these 3 to 5 bars. I don't really care if I see consolidation like this, as long as the next bar has some momentum attached to it as well. This seems extremely consolidating right here. But as this is a key level, as this is a buyer unbalance, oh, well, I guess I don't even have to look at it right now because we did break structure again here to the upside. I was going to say, as the value area low is sitting right at this bigger band right here, and we had a flip right here as well, which would be a long for me. Negative delta, green footprint candle. Then we can, oh, and that wasn't, we weren't even finished with that 120 bar yet. So I was already premature. Now I like this, leg even a little bit better. And another thing too, when you increase your risk to reward, like what you guys have been seeing me, how I've been trading here in the last couple of weeks, and you can, if you've got whatever it is that you track your performance on. I've got my journal always sitting right next to me, but this is not my trade journal. This is just my brain psychological journal that I have for trading. Really nothing in here is about profit and loss or about trade results. It's about what I want to accomplish out of the day. And to be honest with you, they're very similar every day, but I just like to write them in every day. And if I have something that I do wrong on a day, then the next day I might incorporate that as a new kind of, not a goal necessarily, but what I want to accomplish out of the day. And they're very simple items, patience with the A+ setups. And, when you're trading live on YouTube, there's always an element there of always trying to be right. And I've gotten over that. You just got to let the systems play out and the strategy play out. There's an edge involved there. You just got to keep riding on that edge. But with the positive risk to reward, another thing that you're going to notice, which is what I have noticed when I look at my actual trade performance, which I track with TradeZilla, I have noticed that my negative days have been much smaller than my positive days. So, if I had a $2,900 day, I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday. Yesterday was $1,300. A lot of my losing days are -600, -700. I might lose $1,000. I might lose $2,000 in a day, depending. But if you remember the market profile that kills us, which is this, if you start to see that in the morning already and you get knocked out of 1-2 trades, and you already take 2 losers, and it's the same type of profile, call it the day. Call it the day. In my scenario, what I can very easily do is, if I feel like I took a really nice win and I want to lock in profits, I could just change one of my my funding groups. So that makes it super easy for me as well. But if you start to see the market working against you, then... And this one I think is going to have to be right up here just to get this positive risk to reward. Let's see what this looks like. 46 points to make 53. Okay. And again, as long as your winning days are better than your losing days, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that over the long term you are going to be profitable trader. That was kind of a nasty candle right there. That was an aggressive candle right there. Anything come out on news that I should be... Let's take a look here. I looked at it a couple of minutes ago. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. Financial juice. Trump floats a new plan to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, but that was at 9:05. What time did that happen? Okay, so pretty close to it. So what I am going to do here is, I'm not going to get out of this trade, but what I am going to do is I am going to move, lock in some of those profit. Nope, that's not what I want to do here either. I want to buy click. We would have got an entry there. Okay, well, I kind of switched account groups there, but let's just kind of see what kind of price action we get here. I didn't like that huge down move right there. That was very aggressive. And the only headline that I see is that Trump wants to open the Strait of Hormuz and he has a plan for it, but I don't really see anything else. Let me just see. And that could have just been the luck of the draw right there for me. Trump is weighing multiple diplomatic and policy option, floats to reopen the strait. That's a 908. Okay, I'll kind of save myself a trade there. I mean, you saw the reaction right there on this. This is 30 points. We had about a 40-point move in a matter of 2 seconds to the downside. And again, we can't control headlines and we can't control scenarios like that. So, I mean, if we were in this trade and the headline hits, it is what it is. But I was able to kind of foresee that one there a little bit. But I did like the long there for sure. And again, I don't want to be taking a short here back into this unbalanced volume area here from buyers. They've been showing their strength. I'm going to map this out just so you guys can see what it looks like. But this is already twice that we've tested out this this buyer unbalanced area, so I just don't want to be taking a short into an area of support. And this doesn't happen a lot. I mean, these bands are quite far from each other. So, I mean, it just happens that we got stuck into one here this morning. It's not something that you're normally going to see. But again, if you go on my Discord every morning, I give you guys these bands so that you can kind of see where you might get some support or resistance here from. And I'm going to switch all my accounts here now to Sim 3. I'm going to lock in that $500 win there. 3. Gold is gold. No need to do anything there. Super 3. Super 3. And that's another thing I've been very diligent about is when I get a group in profit, I will switch over to another group that I have. I've got 3 groups. And I know at worst, I know that 9 of my accounts, including one of my cash accounts, is green for the day. Morning, Nate. Yes, Max. I'll be right back. So I got a great question here from Tiger Trades. He says, so on the next day, will you start with the green group or with the red group of accounts? So I have 3 groups that I trade from. So, you know, it's typically if I trade the entire day with one group, so I might take a loss like I did on the ES this morning for 2 points or 2.5 points, whatever it was. And then I'll take a win. I'm still on the same group, so it's not like I switch on every single trade. But if I feel like, you know, I want to lock in some profits on a group, then I'll switch over. And if I do that, then the next day I have 3 to choose from. So it's always going to be a fresh group starting off the next morning. Now, if you only have 2, just keep alternating. You know, like right now, I started off on group 2. And I locked in 500 and whatever it was. What is it? 518, 548. Sorry, in profit. So those are locked in. Now I'll take a look at just group. Now I'll just take a look at just group 3. And even if group 3 has a loss, and you know I finished the day flat or negative, whatever the case might be, I can go to group 1. But in your scenario, if you only have 2 groups, let's just say you've got a total of 6 funded accounts and you want to do a 3-3, or you have 4, you want to do 2-2. You could even do them one at a time. If you've got 2 or 3 groups and you want to do 3 groups, you know, and then you can do it almost per trade. Like if you lock in you have a nice trade, lock it in. Yeah, I know it's nice to get that second win and to compound the wins there. That's trust me, I know it. That's a great strategy to build the thing. But there's something to be said about mentally seeing green on your P&L, on whatever it is, your control center or on your trade copy or whatever it is that you're using. When you see green, there's a good sense of satisfaction for the morning or for that trade. And then the next trade, you go on to the next account. And I guarantee you it'll be very, very difficult to blow those accounts that way. Very, very difficult. Which is a testament of why I've kept all of my funded accounts since the month of December. Trade small. So again, this is a scaling option. If I had 3 accounts and that was it, I'd probably be trading a little bit more heavy because my investment into the evaluations, the activations, and the costs that are incurred. You know, if it's much smaller, then I can go a little bit more aggressive on my positions, you know, and try to knock out that payout much faster than the route that I'm going. And yes, I know, looks like this trade would have worked out right here. So point of control, tap in, and looks like you would have already taken profit there at value area low, but I think the best risk to reward play would have been break a structure, so that would have given you about 45 points right here. Again, my theory here was it's hard for me to short on an area of unbalanced volume from buyers right here. And now we've broken this band, so I can remove this guy. And now we could start looking for, let's see what else we've got coming up here. We just broke through that key level there. We've got another key level here at the 27,094. Market could want to come after. Great. Nice clean move here to the downside. So if we do get a retracement here, I will be looking to take a short. And then I want to explain something here on the ES. So the ES has got a key level here at the 7168. So just we'll remind that I'll put this one right here, just so you guys can kind of understand this scenario here. So we do have a leg here on the ES. Point of control, okay, well, point of control is actually sitting right by this key level, so that actually, to me, doesn't look so bad. Even though the ES has been kind of stressing me out lately, but we'll see. Come on. And this will be right here at the break of structure, so risking about 4 3/4 points. And we could put this... break a structure, that's 10 points. It's a little aggressive. 5 1/4 gives me a good how come it didn't get me into my entry? Why is it not? Why is that not getting me into my entry? Oh, it's no shit. So that's a problem. So I am into this entry here. This is my take profit right here, but I have no protection right now. So my leader did not get filled. So I've got to kind of manually work on this guy here. Let's see how we can do this. Let's get rid of this guy. Not sure why my leader did not get filled there. So that could be, let's take a look at the positions here. All right, and then I've got, all right, so now we're in there. So now I'm locked in there. Now let's take a look at this NQ. All right, so the NQ looks like right here is our entry. Oh, no, missed that one. Let's see if we can, if we get filled there or not. Looks like we took a loss there on the ES again. All right. So the ES, oh no, we're still in there. I thought I got knocked out. No, I did not. Looks like we might get knocked out there on the ES. ES always seems to be my problem child lately. Let's see what this NQ looks like here. So 59 points here, risking about 50. So let's just see if we can get a small here continuation of this trend. Still in that ES trade, but not looking too good. So that was one example there where my leader did not get filled on that initial tap. This is the ES trade right here. All right, we got a flip there, so I can reduce risk here down to about 16 points of risk there. And that's based off of this flip right here. So you see I've got a red footprint candle, positive delta, reduce my risk there to 16, still leaving my target here at 59. And we'll see what we can grab here. ES trade still in drawdown. So we need to see a nice little push here from the ES. That was a little scary with the accounts there. Now we're sitting on top of that key level, so we kind of need to break that for sure. NQ doesn't look too good. ES doesn't look too good. All right, knock there on the ES, knock there on the NQ. But was able to at least reduce some risk here, so we'll see kind of what plays out for the rest of this trade here. And again, even though I'm now showing negative 366, the group 3 is the one that took the hit there, not the group that's already in profit. So that's a good example of all right, I'll be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. All right, let's take a look here. Let me look at the bigger picture. Let's see what's kind of... So I mapped out the wrong key level. I should have mapped this one out as well on the ES. That was kind of my fault there. I was looking at it on my side chart here, and I saw the level. I don't know why. This is a great example of what not to do. So yes, we had a key level right here at our entry, and I've stated this many times. You want to avoid a key level that was at the 71.25 being at your stop loss, right? Because we know that that's going to act as a magnet. And I was looking at it on the side chart. I saw it. I don't know why. This is the only one that I drew out. This one was a miss on my part, because if I would have known that, I know that we've got a key level here right at the stop. So why put the stop right there where this is going to be a magnet? So that was kind of a dumb play on my part there. And chop that one up as a mental mistake. And my reasoning for reducing my stop, which in hindsight now, it doesn't look always the best, but we got what I consider to be our nice little reversal setup right here for a continuation push to the downside, which we initially did get, but we came right back to knock me out. And now we are on our, looks like we're on our path here now to the downside. So a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, and I'm not mapping any, we're not mapping any AVT setup until we break structure up here on the top, which would have been our stop, or we break structure down below here, which would have been our full TP. Nothing else to do in this middle area right now. So kind of a busy morning. I mean, that was a lot of action there. Capitalized on a nice short for 40 something points. Took a loss here on a reduced risk. So it looks like that one was about a 16-point loser there. And then got hurt on a ES trade right here, which again was not the greatest setup there because of the fact I actually had a few things there that I do not like. One, we had two key levels here. We had a key level here, and we had a key level here. This is the one that I really messed up. And we were shorting into buyer unbalanced volume, which again is never a good smart idea there. Maybe just got a little excited there for no reason. I don't 0-1 time. I don't right now, but yes, you can. The only issue that I see with just using entry confirmations is that really to get a good, well, like this would have been a good confirmation for me. So this kind of goes against what I'm trying to say. Typically, from what I have seen, you know, these are going to be a little bit more rare on the 120. Now you'll see more on the 60 for sure, or on the 30. The only issue is on the 60, you got to remember that you're waiting for the close of that 60 range, which is 15 points. And you're waiting for the close on the 120 range, which is 30 points. So now that skews your risk to reward if you're going to be using the strategy, the default strategy settings. Now, if you want to do what I did on the 120 and cut your risk right here, which again is not a bad spot to be in. This was the unbalanced volume area. So unbalanced volume was sitting right here. To make things easier, you can always just say halfway through here. That's your unbalanced volume area. So you tapped into the best defense that we had in this area right here. We did get a flip. So having a stop like right, this is the wrong example, sorry. Having a stop right here is a prudent play, you know. I mean, that cuts your risk to 15, 16 points, like what my risk was right here, 16. And you got to remember, I was targeting 60 points. So, you know, the risk profile on that trade looked fantastic. And now in hindsight, you know, we just broke, that was where my stop was going to be at. So that was a nice reduction of capital right there, or preservation of capital right there. Now we broke structure up here, even though slightly. Now we can take a look and see what setups appear. And we do have our initial balance. Let's see what this looks like. So initial balance is sitting at the 27,163, and the initial balance high is sitting at the 27,491, way up there. Let's see if we give the ES here another shot. Okay, I do like that setup right here on the ES. What does this profile look like? 6. Okay, that's a decent 6 points for 4 3/4. I like it. No other entry. Don't have any other scenario where I could get into another position. Not sure why it's not showing me that. All right, we cancel that one out. We broke structure down to the downside there. Let's see what the NQ is doing here. We are getting pretty close to this initial balance right here. And put this line just to make things a little easier. So you got the 60 range right here on the right, and we've got the 30 range sitting right here. Let's make sure that these are, yep, they're in line today, which is good. We've got a flip here, which I kind of like. Going right back into, okay, so again, entry here at the value area low doesn't make much sense. And have to be something at the point of control up here. Risk to reward here on this setup right there does not look very good. What I can do is I can get this ready here just in case. Make this guy go down to right here. And pop this guy right over here. That's pretty nice little risk to reward scenario there if we can get there. 12 points for 52 points. I'll take that all day long. Is it likely? Probably not, but willing to take that risk there. Again, I already know if we break structure down here, then I can cancel out that order, and we'll look for the initial balance trade. So we did break structure there, so I can cancel that out. Let's see if we can get a nice little winner here on the IB if we test it down here. So again, on the 120, I have canceled this order out because we already have broken structure down here. Yes, I know. If you take a scalp from the value area low, that does hit. But again, risk to reward didn't make any sense there, so just stayed out of that one. And that's the profiles today already on the moves. We've seen that some of these risk to rewards have not been great. Most of the days they're very, very nice just from a default level. But that's just the way price action's shaping up today. Let's follow volume and see what we can capture here. And again, on this initial balance trade, my setup is very, very simple. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for a footprint candle to close green and there to be negative delta down below. That is my flip confirmation. And everybody knows my initial balance trade, I think, pretty well by now. And the reason I have two screens up here right now, I've got the 60 range down here, which is my bigger range chart, and 30, which is like my scalping, super scalping chart. And the reason why I do that is that sometimes we'll get price action to, you know, we'll get a bar here that closes green, but also has positive delta, which is not a confirmation from me on the 30 range. But then on the 60 range, you might see the same price action on a bigger scale give you the entry confirmation that I'm looking for. Okay, so that's why I've got them both on there, so I don't miss a setup. I'm just trying to see some key levels here on Bookmap. Pretty light, the 260s, which is right around here, sitting very close to the point of control, which is where that trade setup was at. Now, I'm not saying that you can't. I'm not saying that you can't take this trade up here, but this already broke structure for me, so this could very easily be a sweep continuation now to the upside. But you do have a very, very nice risk to reward profile right here. I mean, that's 14 points, and if you want to be conservative and just take out the value area low right back, you know, that is a close to 53 point move right there. That could be a scenario too where if you want to, you know, switch down to like the 30 range and take a scalp off the 30 range. Smart, super smart. If you can get a flip in here, risk, super tight risk to go for that. Again, this did break structure here, so you do have the likelihood of this continuing to move now to the upside. And on the ES is showing me key level at the 7163. It's got some good liquidity, and the 7190s has got some pretty good liquidity. So that would be on the ES, that would look something like this. Where are we sitting at there? The 63s. So right down here, we've got a good amount of liquidity sitting. So this is the same profile that we're seeing on the 120. The point of control is sitting at the 264. The break of structure is at the 276. So it's the same thing that you're seeing here. It's just when you copy the volume profile here, it's going to give you pretty ugly. All right, so we'll take a stab there, and let's see. Again, let's put the and we got knocked out really super quick there. I don't even think my stop was put at the right spot there, but did get a flip right there, so that was my entry confirmation. And my stop was about, okay, well, good, I got knocked out anyways. All right, so now I can delete these. And was really thinking that we were going to take out the IB low there, which we did not. I have some pretty nasty price action right there. Definitely thought we were going to be taking out the IB low there. That's okay. We'll continue to look for the next setup here. Let's see what the bigger picture looks like. It's actually kind of nasty right there. All right, so if we do get a setup here, I'd like to see this retracement to be right here, as we are already in a little bit of overextension here. So 4-5. I'd like to see this be our retracement candle, and then we'll kind of see what this looks like right here. All right, let's trade results. So even though we have taken 3 losses already for the morning, we've controlled risk as I think as best as we possibly can. So on a market like this that seems to be a little bit of a wild child right now, reducing risk is has proved to be very, very smart thing to do. Like on the ES is super extended. So this is what the ES looks like right now. You know, this is again way more of an overextension here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bars to the upside. Looks like we're gonna possibly see 6 here on the NQ. Wow. What a move. Didn't see that one coming. Okay, so this is already too big of a overextension on the NQ for sure. We're at 7 there. Let's see what the ES is looking at here. And this is, to Tiger's point, this is a move here that the market makers do not like. Okay, this is not efficient use. This is not efficient market price structure right now. So they need to see at least something like this. When you get a really strong line straight to the one side where one side is completely dominant and the other side is not participating, the market makers do not like that scenario. This is where you see slippage. And it's just not a profitable model for the market makers. They need to see some type of retracements, some balancing out. That's why I always use the word balancing and unbalanced. Wow, what a move. Holy shit. And I thought this move could have come from the IB low. They didn't even sweep that, which is even more impressive to me. Typically, the day after FOMC, you definitely do start to see some price action. That's for sure. But man, I was watching that yesterday. That was tough. That was very tough to trade. You know, that was just liquidity seeking up, down, and it wasn't until close to market close that you started seeing, you know, trend. But that was very, very difficult for those trading FOMC yesterday. I did not. I hate to say it, but Flipperoonie. I just really thought it would have come from the IB low, from today. All right. Let's take a look and see what gold. Did add a band here in gold. You guys want to mark this one down? At the 46.59 to the 46.49.1. Mark this one out. We're kind of sitting in between two bands right now in gold. No, the NQ did not get swept. The IBLO did not. I believe the ES did though. No, actually, no, the ES did not as well. Your lows are right here. Your initial balance is the 60-minute. Wow, this is like a 230 point move here. Not more. 170 to 420. It's 250 point move right here. And kind of a strange spot to do it because, you know, you've got yesterday's open right here sitting at the 27,197, but we already swept that, which created this initial balance low. We then retraced back up. We swept it again, but we did not sweep the IB low. We already had swept this level. Kind of a funky little spot here to have this big of a jump. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8. That is way too big. Just because I loved seeing price action. Let's see what this kind of would look like there. Let's see what this little long setup here presents us with. I think I'll take a position long right here. Target this value area high. Stop down here, and then I can add one more position right here if I have to. This guy up here as well. Hopefully we don't see a 100-point move to the downside here. Not get filled there on, which I should have gotten filled there. So maybe the sim leaders are not that great, because that should have definitely been a fill right there. Actually a zero. That was a zero print there too, so maybe there was no fills there. Let me make sure that they didn't fill me. No, they did fill me. They filled me on my followers, but my leader did not get filled. That's kind of, I don't like that, because now my TPs are not set. So I'm gonna have to flatten this one. I am in 2 positions here on all of my followers though, so I'm gonna have to be at the ready here. So another classic example there of the leader not getting filled, but the followers getting filled. So I'm going to have to flatten one of my positions manually once I hit TP here. Which I don't really like doing like this, but not much else I can do. Alright, I took out there. I think it was probably a tick or two short of it, but I was naked on one of my big positions there, so at least I erased the negative deficit for the day. Three points there on the ES on 2 positions. I'm okay with that. There's a few times now where my leader doesn't get filled. On the NQ, it should have definitely, on the previous one, it should have definitely gotten filled, so I'm not liking that. Alright, let's see what the NQ stagnant. Alright, trade results. And so for context, everyone, so I'm showing a $36 profit for the day. And when I look at my groups, you got to remember that I switched groups over when I was positive 550 bucks, let's say, 540 or whatever it was. So that group 2 is still in profit, nicely. That did not get touched. Now, group 3, even though it shows break even right now, those accounts now are down on average 45 bucks for all of them. My cash account is up $7.20. So because the cash is attached to all of my groups. So you guys kind of have to, the math is a little jinky on that part. So one group is up nicely, and that was a group that I had got up to 540. But group 3 started this P&L, the session P&L that you see up on your screen. That's my total session P&L for every single account that I have attached, all my funded accounts. Not including the leaders, so my leaders are not on there. They're not included in my session P&L. It's just my fundeds and my cash. So group 3, which is the one that I switched over to, is still down 45 bucks per account. But group 2, they're all up about 55 bucks. And cash, like I said, after commissions, gross was $21.50. After commissions, it's up $7.20. So that's that. That's another great example of the ES that we were talking about yesterday. So my TP was right here. That's a tick. It's a tick that I couldn't get right there. And again, it just makes you sweat. It does make you sweat. It's been a lot of price action this morning. You've definitely seen the strategy in action, that's for sure. And again, I think it proves the point of the risk to reward aspect of the strategy, of the AVT strategy. I think it's in really good full display here today. You know, yesterday I made 1,300. The day, I think prior day was 2,900. I believe Monday was Monday a losing day. Monday I lost 600 bucks. Let's see here what I did on Monday. So Monday I lost 600. Tuesday I made 2,900. Yesterday I made 1,300. Today looks like, well, whatever. We're not done with today yet, but let's just forget about that last ES trade. Let's just say that ES trade never happened. Okay, and I'm down, and I was down 800 bucks. That was with 3 losses and 1 win. Okay, 3 losses and 1 win. So you're, again, when you skew the risk to reward in your favor over the long run, you will see positive results. Now, you still have to have an edge in your strategy. Even if it's 55%, 60% is phenomenal if you've got a positive risk to reward system. So again, I think it's a good representation of what changing that mindset maybe just a little bit can maybe help you. And again, the position sizing has to be right. Ufri, so my system is called the AVT, which is Auction Volume Trend System. Honestly, if you watch the stream long enough, probably one stream, you'll catch on really fast. But it's pretty much, the premise is taking a look at, it's incorporating all of the theories in price action that I have looked at, traded, following trend, buy low, sell high, and incorporated the volume profile into it. So, and it just kind of giving you entries based on what the fixed volume profile on that particular move is. And like I said, if you watch the stream, I pretty much explain it with each setup that I take. Today there's been a bunch. Definitely been a bunch. Some pretty wacky some pretty wacky price action today. Well, like for instance, we took a loss here, 16 points. We took a loss here of 20 points. We then took a winner here for almost 40 points. So it's kind of what starts to help you average out your trades. Yes, we were able to take 3 points right here on this setup, which was very simple little setup. It doesn't show my second position here because the leader never did get triggered, but my fundeds did. All of my followers got triggered, which was great because it made this trade. That was probably close to $1,000 trade right there because of that secondary position right there. And again, very simple strategy. You got your 1, 2, 3 up range bars. Okay, we're looking for 3 to 5. You got your down retracement bar right here. You put out your fixed volume profile tool to incorporate just this move right here. And now what you're looking for is the fixed volume profile will give you all of your entries and your take profits and stop losses. So entry 1 right here. Could take in this particular setup, not all of them will have it. This had a secondary entry right here at the value area low. So I got in one position here. I did get into another position here. You don't see it on the chart, but I was in, my leader did not get filled, but my followers got filled right there. Stop loss 6 sits at the break of structure. If we break through here, this trade is wrong. And all we're doing is, so our average position between these two was sitting somewhere right around here. And all we're doing is targeting the value area high or break of structure, whatever you want to target. So again, it incorporates the best of all price action. It really does. The rules of the 3 to 5 keep you out of these overextended moves. You know, your range days, it works really well. Your trend days, it works really well. It's just those, that one kind of market profile that I've shown you guys many examples on where the strategy does not, where you'll take some losers on. But you can anticipate that, and you can see with price action if it's that type of a day based on the losses that you take. You know, my feeling right here, when we were down here, I thought we were going to be taking out the IB low. I really did. And now it looks like we might be looking at the IB high, which to me, down here, 300 points later, seems nutty to me, but... Guys, give me 1 second, okay? Sorry, everyone. That was my sister bringing my daughter's birthday present today. It's her birthday today. So I got a 14-year-old today, and I've got my middle daughter who is taking her driver's exam today. Kind of scary. Kind of scary. I feel like you lose so much time with your kids when they finally get their license. They're so dependent on us to get to games, to get to school, get to work. Kind of lose that time with them once they get their license. Thanks, bud. Well, the ES is flirting with that that band that I gave you guys here, so we should see some rejection there. That's a nice little flip candle there too on that. Primo spot for a short right there. I will say, my son has developed into a very good driver. My daughter going for her exam today, I still feel like needs some work. She's definitely not going to be driving on her own for some time. My wife drives a really big SUV, and I've said to her that she's probably going to take that car from my wife because it's built like a fucking tank. To be honest with you, I think that car is a tank. So I feel really safe with her driving that. I feel even safer with her driving my Tesla because she could always put it on auto drive for her. I think she could still find a way to mess that part up. All right, nice little short there on the ES. That's set up actually really nicely. Nice little flip right there. Forerunners have built like a strong truck. I think that's built on the Tacoma chassis. So my wife drives the Lexus, the LX 570, which is built off of the Land Rover, or the Land Rover, not the Land Rover. What's the big the Land Cruiser? It's built off of the, but it's built on a truck chassis, and that thing is an absolute beast. It really is. I feel really safe with her driving that. But ultimately, they got to drive well no matter what. Well, kind of a little disappointed here that I didn't even consider this as a good shorting opportunity right there. This was a primo signal. Nice down bar, nice positive delta. It's exactly what I'm looking for in my entry confirmations. Truck, yeah, I thought it was too. I think it's built off the Tacoma because I used to drive about like 7-8 years ago. I used to drive the Sequoia, and that was built off of the Tundra chassis. That thing was an absolute beast. We had an RV, and I would pull that. That RV weighed like 9,000 pounds, and the Sequoia would pull it with no problem. Those trucks are, and they go forever. I was actually really sad. I sold it to a friend of mine. He still has it. But I will say I would not give up my Tesla for, I don't think, any other vehicle in this world right now. I was 100% against electric. I thought that, you know, the whole thing of the range and, you know, not being able just to put gas when you need it. Fuck that. I don't even look. I look at people waiting in the gas station now and I kind of laugh. I used to go to Costco for gas and that was an absolute shit show. It was like the Hunger Games. Trying to get into the right line, not waiting. Cold. It could be 30 below 0 in Chicago. I just zip right by them right now. The funny thing is I'm not even driving. The car's driving for me. 80% of my driving is done now through the auto drive. And I do a lot of city driving. A lot. Technology wise, I mean, I could be looking at TradingView, I could be looking at YouTube, not while I'm driving, but you know, if I got to get to a listing appointment or any type of appointment that I got to go to, if I've got some time there, I'll pop it on. A little upset that I didn't capitalize on that little short right there. Let's see. So, and just so you guys know, so the reason why I didn't really map this out here as a short setup, even though I think this might have got you your profit. You probably would have been short there by a tick. But either way, we broke structure down here below, so this is not. But this here would have been good. Just risk to reward would have been kind of choppy. And Toyota makes the best hybrids ever. So if you're looking at a hybrid, Toyota's, I think, the best way to go. Yeah, so what Tesla will do is if, you know, it'll give you like 3 warnings, you know, to pay attention while it's driving for you. And then after like the 3rd warning, it'll put you in like a timeout. So it won't let you self-drive for like 24 hours. I've never had that happen to me. You know, I'm obviously still paying attention, but my hands are nowhere. I mean, my hands are not nowhere near the steering wheel or anything like that. It's as relaxed, and it is ridiculously good. I mean, it's aggressive. It's lanes changes in and out, knows when to go into express lanes. You know, I had a scenario the other day that was kind of nutty. I was getting off of an off-ramp off of the expressway, and this is my Tesla right here, and there was a car that like literally stopped very abruptly right in front of me, and the distance, we were probably about a car and a half behind on its own. I wasn't steering. I didn't press the brakes. I didn't even get nervous, to be honest with you. I got a little surprised at how well it did, because I thought it was just going to brake, and that brake would have been very aggressive. I probably would have sent all my shit on my passenger seat into the floor. It went into the shoulder of the off-ramp around the car and continued on its way. And I was like, holy shit. Like, that was super smart. And it will go in oncoming traffic, or it'll go into like lanes where, you know, you shouldn't be if it needs to avoid, you know, an imminent situation. And the thinking behind it is extremely impressive. You know, there's a lot of features in there that I don't use. Like, they have the summon feature, which I never found to be really useful for me. I actually think that's, I don't know, in my opinion, I think it's kind of a douchebag kind of thing to do. You're at a restaurant and you tell the Tesla to come pick you up at the front door. And everybody's looking at the car like, who the fuck's driving that thing? So I never use that. But the technology inside just makes your day, and it's comfortable. The seats are comfortable. Fuck the affiliate codes for the prop firms. I should just have an affiliate code for Tesla. So I will say I've probably sold them at least 3 or 4 cars to people that, you know, ride it once or twice. I had a friend of mine, he's a judge, and we were coming home. We went to dinner with the wives, and I told him, like, you want to see how it is? We were on the expressway, and it was the first time he'd ever been, and he was freaked out. Like, I could see that he was tense. And the Tesla did a move that, again, even kind of surprised me. But so we were like on a 3-lane, it was actually like a 4-lane highway, and then the Kennedy. And so the Kennedy's got this like off ramp to get onto the express lanes, but this is only open one way or the other way during certain times, right? And we were in this lane right here, and there's traffic, there was cars, like, you know, everywhere, and it literally made this 4-lane change, all smooth, nothing crazy, didn't scare anybody, but it got them shocked because he didn't, and it got into the express lane, drove the express lane all the way out till we got out, and you know, literally got right to their house, all in self-drive, and he was floored. And about, I want to say about 2 weeks later, he had a brand new Model Y in his driveway. And he drives it to downtown every single day. And like, I don't understand how you can, like, the autopilot in traffic on the expressway, especially over here in Chicago. It's like, it's the greatest thing in the world. It's fast as shit. So I have a nice sports car that I really enjoy. But another thing that I have learned is that, you know, getting into I have a Model Y, so, and it's nothing crazy, but it's super, super fast. And I get into my sports car and I'm like, the performance is not even the same. Like, it's, you're in a regular car in the Model Y, and I think it does 0 to 60 in like 3.9 seconds, which when I was a kid, I was in love with Porsches. So I thought the 911 twin turbo that had a 0 to 60 of 3.6 seconds was the fastest car on the planet. And at that time it was. But now you got like a regular sedan that doesn't even look aggressive, you know, at those times. And that's the slow model of it. They've got even faster models of it that do 0 to 60 in like 1 second, 1.5 seconds. So it kind of took away the fun of the sports car. But the nice thing about the sports car is that you can't beat that exhaust sound. You actually get an engine sound, which you don't get on the Tesla. That's for sure. So yeah, I'm a big fan. And I was spending about $500 to $600, but no, I was spending about $450 at that time in gas per month, which now would probably be more. So that instantly was like the driving force. My electric bill went up slightly. But really, for me, in my personal situation, like, we had our garage was heated. We had this electric heater that was like the 220. I might be saying that wrong. 240, 220. So when I got the Tesla, I got the fast charger, which also needs 220. So we pretty much just stole a line from, now we don't have heat in the garage, but I got a Tesla charging. And it charged pretty quick. 4 hours for like a full charge. And then on full charge, I'm getting like 230 miles per range. The Sequoia, in my opinion, had a different purpose because I needed it for our for the RV, to pull the RV. So I had a different purpose for it, but it was by far the most reliable car, truck, SUV that I have ever owned. Again, minusing the Tesla. Tesla has never even seen like a day of service or anything like that. So, but not really many things to go wrong there. Yeah, my Sequoia was 2009. So it was the different model difference, because I think the Sequoia, the 01 went up to 06 was the last year of that model, and then the 07 came out with a different model, and then I think they've had like kind of like a small redesign, and then the major redesign this last time that they just did. But it was built, they're both the Lexus, my wife's LX, and the Sequoia both had the 5.7 liter engine in there. Those things are just freaking tanks. I mean, to get an SUV to pull close to 9,000 pounds, it was rated at 10,000 pounds, 10,200 pounds. There wasn't even pickup trucks in that time that were doing that. It was insane. All right, let's see what we got brewing here. All right. Let's see if we can get a little mini continuation here. Let's see what this looks like here. All right, we're into that one. Now, risk profile here is not going to be the greatest. Let's go halfway here, a little bit above halfway here on there, and then we'll see if we can better our position here with the short. We'll keep it right here. All right, so in on one position here. Let me move this so you guys can see it a little better. So first entry here was at the point of control at the 27,370. Second position here, if we could get into it, is going to be at the value area high at the 27,398. And this should help my average position somewhere right around here, I would assume, which should get this into a closer to 1-to-1, because we're right now not in the greatest risk to reward scenario right here. So we'll see. All right, so we did get in. I think we got in. I know the leader did, but that looked really quick. Let's see if we are in. Where are the positions? Positions? Yeah, so we're in on 2 positions there. All right, so we can move. We're trying to target here. Let's bring this guy down. All right, 44 now to, let's call it 40 on the stop. So a little better than 1-to-1. Still don't have risk all the way up to where we would need it at. Let me just see what this would look like really quickly. 52, so it's still negative risk to reward. We'll bring these two together. All right. All right, I'll be right back, guys. All right, so not looking too great here. See what is showing up on Bookmap here. And Q. 420s. That looks like they're absorbing very quickly here. That should do me right there. I think we got there by the tick there. I don't know, buyers look like they're ready for a reboot here. Kind of have to break here. We've got to break these, the 92s, which is sitting right here, to really have any ounce of hope here. Kind of looks to me like buyers are rebooting here. We'll see. Not out of it yet. I'd take a 100-point ripper to the downside right here. Take care, Grant. Looks like this will be my last trade of the morning here, so let's see if we have some profits to give out or not. It's gonna need some work. Where are the 350s at? All right, so just taking a look at liquidity here. We've got a pretty good spot right here. I don't know why this didn't give it to me here. 370. No, I thought it was the 350s. Hold on. Yeah, the 350s right here seems like a good spot to take some profits out right here at the 350s. So what I could do maybe is take out one target, move this guy to like the 352s. See if we can get filled there or not. That was a nice little spike there. They did jab at the 50. Oh, well. I don't like that they gave up the 50 there. So that liquidity's gone. Now it's at the 330s. What to do, what to do. I don't like that that liquidity just left. I didn't even tap into it and it's gone. Not a big fan of that. Buyers absorbing here, pretty good. Yeah, the 350s are gone. So let's take a look at liquidity here real quick. So that liquidity that was resting at the 350s, they never swiped at it. It's right here. You can see that that's gone. So now big target still is, I guess, now the 330, which puts us underneath our TPs, which is good. But I don't like that that was a pretty decent part of liquidity right there. That would have been nice for them to tap into that. I would have taken my TP right there. And a lot of absorption here by buyers. It's pretty weak right now on volume. Actually, there's an imbalance at the 45s, at the 65s. I guess I don't have to worry. Well, no, wait, that's not the 60. Yeah, that is the 65s. I don't have to worry about that just yet. Well, I mean, you came a tick away from your stop. You came about a point or two away from your TP, so you kind of a couple points away. Would like to give out some money here today because that means that I make some money. Yeah, liquidity looks really, really soft right now. It does not look too good. That 52 was a really nice target for them. And then when I saw that leave It just gave me that quick spike. I didn't even have enough time to react to it. Doesn't seem to be much direction in the market because the market really doesn't have much to really go for. I mean, it's got a little bit of liquidity sitting at the 410s. Which doesn't bode really too well for me, but yeah, I think we got kind of stuck here in really low volume. Really low volume. I don't even think I could have sold here. That was way too quick of a spike. I'm gonna go use the washroom. This might take a while, hopefully. Hopefully I come back to some profits, but we'll see. Seems like we're in the same spot. No flips anywhere, nothing really to do. Let's see what the ES, where's the ES at? ES is right at this band, which is okay with me. Big rip right there. All right, so if they take out the candle here, we are cooked on this trade. Yeah. Big absorption there. Looks like the buyers want to take this up. All right, knocked out there. So what are we down? Still got a position open. I don't know why. Let's see. All right, now flat. Yeah, kind of having issues with the leader counts. I don't know why. Not really playing out too well. All right, so a nasty loss there to finish the stream. Wish I could have got this in profit, guys. We got really close there to taking a TP. Probably flashed 900 in profit there, but the market had a different direction, and that's okay as well. All right, sorry we couldn't make any profits for you guys. Did not take any profits for myself. One group is in profit, but overall down for the day. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better trading day. Take care, everyone.